Hello and welcome to this week's video. I've been asked a few times to do a video based around astrophotography. So this week I've done one shooting the Milky Way. As you can appreciate, with it being dark, there's not a great deal of B-roll footage. So I've done a few clips in between that I'm gonna talk through some of the editing techniques, etc. So let's get into the video. I hope you enjoy. Good evening, welcome to this week's video. This week come down to Beer Beach down on the south coast of Devon, joined by Martin and Joe. Can't see them because it's too dark, but we've come down to hopefully catch the Milky Way for the first time this season. Anybody who saw my video a couple of weeks ago see that I failed miserably that night because the conditions were against me, but hopefully we've had clear skies all week, so luckily tonight the moon's a little bit later, so hopefully we can get some shots. So see how the night goes. Okay, so this is what we're using as a foreground subject. On the front we've got these boats. So first shot I'm just setting a focus up on those boats, and I've dropped the ISO. I've got the ISO set at 500. I'm doing a 30-second exposure at f2.8 to get a sharp image on those boats. At 30 seconds that will blur the stars, so when we come to do the star shots, we'll alter the settings to suit for them. Okay, so on the back of the camera there, it's probably quite blown out on this Osmo Pocket, but just getting a shot with that boat, and then later on when we start seeing the Milky Way, if I haven't got any foreground shots, I can use that to blend in as a foreground image. Okay, so we've got some foreground images taken just to cover that whilst we're waiting for the Milky Way to start coming into view. Should be coming in from our left from the east and then gradually rising up. We're still probably a good sort of 3/4 of an hour away from being able to see it properly, I would imagine. So now I've reset my focus. I've pretty much focusing to infinity and just turning back slightly to get a focus on a star. In manual focus, find a bright star, zoom in on it best you can, and then adjust your focus manually to get it as sharp as you can see. Okay, hopefully you can see on the back of the camera now. Obviously it's just a black screen because we're just focused on a dark sky, but I've now adjusted my settings. I've now got the ISO up to 1600, 2.8, 15 seconds. The 15 seconds is going on using the 24mm lens and using the 500 rule, which is dividing your focal length by 500, and that will give you an estimate of how long your exposure can be to stop you getting any movement in the stars. So I'm going to take a few test shots at this, and then hopefully we should be ready for when we start seeing that Milky Way. Okay, so to get the position of the Milky Way, I use the photographer's ephemeris. I'll put a screenshot up to let you see how I've used that to get the position of the Milky Way and which direction we're sort of shooting in, and a rough time of when the core of the Milky Way is gonna start become visible down near the horizon. So I'll put a screenshot up, let you have a look at that one. Okay, so it's now 4 AM in the morning. I'm using the red light, so because Martin's shooting next to me, so I don't want to give him any more light pollution than what's already here from the lights from Beer Harbour behind us, or sort of Beer Walkway. But yeah, we're starting to see the Milky Way now. Top of the core just coming into view. Probably another half an hour, 3/4 of an hour, it'll be at its highest point. Where it's low in the season, it is a real low arc. Obviously I can't show you anything on camera or on the Osmo, so I'll have to just put some of the images up after I've done some editing on them and let you have a look. So I'm not sure if you can see that in the back of the camera, but that's the composition I've got, is with the boat's central screen and then the Milky Way just arching over the top. Not sure what you can see on that screen, it's probably quite blown out and not particularly clear, but I'll put a few images up and I'll let you have a look, see what we've been getting. Okay, I think we're probably not far off being done now. Milky Way, the core is just starting to disappear again. It's just starting to drop down, so to lose that intensity. So just a quick recap of my sort of tips regarding shooting the Milky Way. Firstly, do a bit of research into your location as to where the Milky Way is going to be. The conditions, you want a night with no moon to cut down the light pollution, look at light pollution in the area, so do a little bit of research into your location first. Secondly, then when you get there, do some test shots, get a foreground image shot if you like, with a lower ISO to keep that nice and sharp, and then with your focus in manual, get a focus on infinity just back to get a sharp star, get a star in your live view, zoom in and get it as sharp as you can, and then set your shutter speed using the 500 rule, which is dividing your focal length by 500, which will give you how many seconds you can expose to reduce the risk of movement in the stars. This does change slightly with a crop sensor camera, but generally it'll give you a good starting point. And then get your ISO up to around about 1600, 2000. Open your lens as wide as it'll go. I'm shooting at 2.8 on the f-stop, and then set your exposure regarding your 500 rule. So I'm shooting at 15 seconds to give myself some fairly sharp stars. So that's my sort of top tips of astrophotography. So, and the other one is just get out and enjoy it, and just give it a go and see what you can get. It's great fun without underneath the stars at night. So for this time from Beer Beach, we're going to call it a night now and head on back So hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll put some images up now for you to see what we've got over this session. So if you like what you're seeing, please check out some of my other videos and hit that subscription button and the notification bell to keep up with any latest content. Give the video a thumbs up, that would be really appreciated, because it does help the video options and analytics. And also drop me a comment down below, it's always great to get some feedback. So thanks again for watching. Till next time, take it easy. Good evening. This is a bit of a pre-log to Saturday night at beer that I'm going to add on to the end of the video. I've returned back to Chew Valley Lake, a video I did a few weeks ago, trying to get the Milky Way there when weather conditions and cloud went against me, and I was thinking that there was going to be too much light pollution. How wrong was I? I've come back again and clear skies. It's a Friday. I'm going to work in a minute. I was up at 3 a.m. to get here for 4 to have about half an hour of the Milky Way at its peak, and I'm liking what I'm seeing in the camera. So I'll get some photos edited and I'll put these up as an addition. I'll just show you some settings as well. Okay, so that's the settings I'm at the moment. Pretty similar to, well, in fairness, exactly the same as Saturday night. I'm shooting at 1600 ISO, 15 seconds again, to avoid any movement in the stars, and f2.8, which is wide open. And I'm not sure if you can see there, but that's the sort of results I'm getting with the Milky Way over the top. Yeah, well happy I made the effort to get up. So get a few more shots. Okay, so just as a bit of an addition to this video, I'm gonna just walk you through a bit of a workflow regarding editing to bring out the detail in the Milky Way. So let me shrink myself down and open Lightroom, and we'll make a start. Okay, so I've chose this raw image of which is just a shot I took with no foreground or nothing, just the Milky Way itself, just so that I can edit it to show you how to bring the detail out. So first thing I'm going to do is go down to the lens corrections and enable profile to change it from that the 24mm lens I had on. Okay, back up. So first thing I'm going to do is just increase the exposure slightly, just to bring up a bit more detail, and then we'll increase the contrast just again very slightly. And then what we want to do is, as you can see here, is you can just sort of see the Milky Way itself. So we want to bring up the highlights, but take down the darks. So we're bringing up the whites slightly, taking down the blacks, just to, and now we're starting to see it a little bit more. And then we're just going to bring up the clarity very slightly. If I go too high on the clarity, you can see on the edges it starts to go light, so I don't, and also it just introduces noise. So we don't want too much clarity, just take it up a little bit. And the dehaze. Okay, now we're going into the tone curve, so we're going to do the same. We're going to increase the highlights, increase the lights slightly, take down the darks and the shadows. So as you can see, if I do the side by side there, you can starting to see that detail coming out. So then what I tend to do then is get myself a brush, masking tool, open yourself up a brush, size it to roughly what you see in the size of the Milky Way, and then do similar settings to what you've already done previously, just taking up the whites, taking down the blacks, increase the clarity slightly, and then just paint over the Milky Way itself and the detail in the bottom there and up to the top. So once you can see what you've got, then you can adjust it slightly to get it to match in more with the surroundings. So just bring the blacks up slightly so it's not too bad. We're going to increase the whites a bit more to bring out, and the highlights to bring out more detail again, and the clarity we can bring up a little bit more because we're only just in the Milky Way itself, and a bit of dehaze. So there we are, just as an initial edit on the Milky Way, just to bring out a bit more detail. As you can see, the before raw image, and there's your edited image, bringing out that detail. You can then do some extra adjustments if you wanted to, where it's dark, lighter here on the sides. You could use a graduated filter just to bring down that. But yeah, once you get to this stage, you can then just tweak and play to get more detail out. Finally, the last thing I would do is on the sharpening is take the amount right to the top, radius down slightly, and then using the Alt key and the mask, bring the masking up until you're just seeing the stars themselves. And also the noise reduction, just because we've obviously been shooting at high ISOs, we'll bring the noise reduction up as well a little bit. If you bring it up too much, then you will lose stars. But there you go, from a before image to your image with a bit more detail. Okay, so we're back in the room. Thanks again. Hopefully that was a bit of a help to you, just a very brief beginner's guide to bringing out some more detail. So again, thanks for watching. Check out some of my other videos, and don't forget, hit that like and subscribe. That'd be great. Until then, see you next time. Take it easy.